They got a good thing going in this old town. Well, on down folks have come around and took a little pride in old Nauvoo. And now they showed us a thing or two. Well, it looks real good, the old depot. It's a replica of the one of old. But there's much more than meets the eye if you just give this town a try. Well, come on down and browse around. There's a lot to learn from this old town. And we sure hope that when you do, you'll say yes to old Nauvoo. Well, a Hobbit Hotel is a dream. It's a grand old building run by Gene. And the wife and he takes a lot of pride in making these events come alive and set the pace and stay on key. Well, we got Gene Dillon and Margaret Lee, and the folks that dedicate their time can make a Nauvoo's Christmas so divine. Well, come on down and browse around. There's a lot to learn from this old town. And we sure hope that when you do, you'll say yes to old Nauvoo. Yeah, we sure hope that when you do, you'll say yes to old Nauvoo.
I'm Margaret Lee, Special People and Places, but I'm here because this is the longest running parade in Walker County, 26 years, and it is sponsored by the Nauvoo Historical Society. I am a member, and in a moment I'll introduce you to the president of the Nauvoo Historical Society. And want you to be sure and get a good shot of Miss Walker County for the first time. Nauvoo. She is a native of Nauvoo, Sarah Engel, and we're so very proud of her. But 26 years, the hotel is owned by Gene and Erlene McDaniel, and they do the majority of the work. And everything, the Nauvoo Historical Society was formed to open a museum over at the train station, and it is a replica of the original station that was built in 1897, and we were able to get a replica built and opened in 1997 and had the grand opening. So this is very special to us. In fact, I would like to introduce you to Mitchell McDaniel. Let's get him over. Mitchell, come here.
What?
We are so happy to have the replica train station, and Mitchell McDaniel is the very talented builder that completed this for us. And he is the son of Erlene and Gene McDaniel. This guy is awesome.
Thank you.
Without him, he was able to we didn't even have to have an architect. We didn't even have to hire an architect. And people walk in that train station and think it's the original. but it is a replica thanks to this talented young man, Mitchell McDaniel.
Y'all look beautiful this morning. Thank you for coming.
Now, is this the Carbon Hill or Lynn? Carbon Hill Marching Band.
I wish. Hey, Lisa. Aw. Hey, Jazzy. Love you.
I'll put my thing close to you before you get lost.
It's just nice, eh? Another Nauvoo Fire Department. A lot of, yeah. How much we appreciate it. Your grace and assembly of God. Thank y'all for coming.
What a great old truck it is.
Yeah,
Ah, Gaza.
there it is. Yeah.
Coming.
Highway 5 is going to get gas up. Yeah,
Without him. Thank y'all for coming.
good throw.
You can. Merry Christmas. We can't see this side.
Girl. There's Jeremy Johnson, and I don't know who it is with him.
Oh, he's named his tractor Blue Mule.
Yeah, yeah, the Blue Moo.
My goodness.
This is the first time they've been in the parade in a few years.
Spirit of Dixie Band from Lynn, Alabama.
They're looking,
Beautiful this morning.
they are looking so spiffy.
Gonna stop and play.
I hope it's moving. Really, I'm not.
I've got 10 folks in there, and folks got daughters, brothers, and daddies in school, so I've got a lot of connections with the Lynn Band as far as just getting folks and friendship. Thank y'all very much.
That one is close to your heart, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's expensive.
Cookie. What's your name? Dayton. Dayton? Do you live in Nauvoo? Well, I'm up here with my Nana. Okay.
You just scared me.
England was far more talented than her.
I want to talk to Sarah.
And it's open to Walker and Winston counties both this year. So maybe even some people from.
And I did not remember when Don Early had his train in Summerton. I didn't recall that the caboose had the cupola on top. I love the cupola. When Nauvoo Historical Society was getting their caboose, we were asking for a donation from Norfolk Southern, and at the time I had requested, as part of the Historical Society on the board, I was requesting a cupola on top of our caboose. And he said at the time, he said, "Oh, I suppose you would like brass fittings too." And I said, "Oh, that would be nice." And at the time, I didn't realize that he was kidding around, that we weren't going to be getting a cupola on top. Apparently, those are hard to find. Now you see the scaffolding is still up on this side where they are painting, and they're going to be putting Southern on all the cars, the railroad cars. Let's go down to the other end and check out the engine now and see what's going to be done on that. It is in place. We understand next week the paint process will be started on the engine, so we will be back to check the progress, and of course, looking forward to the grand opening. Well, we're in Irondale and turned around and look who's here. Don Early. You just can't stay away from your train.
I can't stay away from them, no.
Well, what do you think about the paint job?
Well, I'm not really happy with the green paint job.
Really?
Because it just needs to be solid green. But they want it to show up from the interstate, so they put that other color on there. It looks like an old 1800s color.
Don, tell us a little bit about the engine. I understand that's to be painted next week, maybe.
Well, this is Sunday, and they were supposed to be here today. And they broke down, the guys that's doing it's coming out of Missouri, and they broke down in Memphis. And they'll be down here sometime tomorrow afternoon, which will be Monday. And it'll take them about a week to do all the body work and get everything ready to paint the engine. It'll be southern green. We're going to paint it with the southern green and white, the livery colors and everything.
All right. Well, I had that wrong. I thought your father was with Frisco.
No, I worked for Frisco. My dad worked for the Southern.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He was a conductor, and I worked in the depots. I used to work in Jasper. I worked everywhere from Memphis all the way down to Pensacola, Florida. His track that he used to run on was from Chattanooga and Meridian. He worked from Chattanooga, Tennessee to Meridian, Mississippi.
As a conductor?
Yeah, he came through Birmingham. He worked out of Irondale Yards here, too, when he worked the freight trains.
Oh, my gosh. Lots of memories.
It really is. It seems like it was another lifetime ago. All the buildings around here are going to look like old depots. They're going to be old clocks and pretty lights and things on them, and they're going to extend the awnings out and have places for people to sit and be able to eat and everything around here.
And enjoy this railroad train. I know you're so pleased to have it come to a nice end like this.
Because where it was, it was hidden. It was all right back before Quarter X came through, because I had people from all over the world look at the cars. Because if I opened the gates back before Quarter X, it was going to be covered up with people, and I'd just take them around and show them, because that's what I did it for. But over here now, they'll be able to see it a lot more, because you can actually see the cars from I-20.
That's right.
You can see them from I-20. I looked up here the other day, and there they were.
All right, Don, again, this is the passenger train here. Right behind.
Yeah, that's the passenger coach. Okay. That was a coach, and that's, I don't know what they'll put in there. It'll be a business of some kind, but that was the coach. And then they had the baggage car that we turned into a kitchen that Susie and I did. And then the engine, and then the caboose is, well, I kept the sleeper car. I kept the stainless steel car in Summerton.
Couldn't give that one up.
I had to have one.
Don, have they given you a date yet, the target date that this will be open?
They think about 2 months. That's the goal, is to have it open in 2 months. And we should have the rest of the paintwork done within another week from now. But what they're going to do, and you know, they've cut a door in the side of the engine on the other side, because they got to make it all handicap accessible. So they've actually cut a pretty good sized door on the other side of the engine so they could actually get people through it. So I don't know what they're going to plan. I don't think they know yet exactly what businesses are going to be in these cars, but they'll be pretty diversified.
Well, the main thing is your father's going to be honored.
Yeah, he will be. They want to keep a lot of his stuff, and exactly where all this is going, they're going to have artifacts in all these buildings and all these businesses around. It'll be a museum in its entirety. You know, you go into some of the food stores and you see all the old stuff up on the walls. A lot of that will be up there, but where we're going to put my dad's stuff is still yet to be determined.
Oh, but how wonderful. I know you are. This is a thrill for you. It has to be. Oh, Don, this is a thrill to see this, and I hope your dad is looking down.
He is. Looking at his cousin, too.
Oh, my. It is a thrill. So Mr. Albert J. Early, or E.J. Early, as he was known in his career on this railroad. He walked many miles on that car, didn't he?
Sure did.
This is Margaret Lee, and today I am down in Bessemer at the Blkwater Forge, and I love showcasing special people, and today I'm talking to Russell Colvin because of his nice donation to the Walker County Arts Alliance. And the girls had, at the Arts Alliance, Beth Sargent and Amelia Trowbridge had told me that Russell Colvin is a native of Walker County, and he does forging. Well, I hardly knew what a forger was. And so it's just so interesting, and so we'd like to show some of Russell's work. Russell, how did you get started in forging?
Well, I grew up working on a farm and just had always been interested in horses. And when I graduated from high school, I went to Oklahoma State Horseshoeing School. And as soon as I started forging horseshoes, I found out that I really enjoyed the work, and I started forging all kind of different things. And that's what I've been doing since 1983.
Oh, Russell, I had no idea that you could make such decorative things out of iron. This is so impressive. I never saw anything like it. Look at the detail in this. And your mother said that's actually a gift you made her.
Right.
Explain a little bit about it.
Well, this is a marriage rose, and the symbolism is there's two stems that come together and come into one rose, and that's the symbolism of marriage. And I've made a lot of roses, but this was the first marriage rose, and I made it for my parents for their 50th wedding anniversary.
Well, I guess that means you're the rose that came out of that union. But Russell, the detail, I'm just amazed at how you could do that. It really is an art form. The girls kept telling me about it. This is incredible, the magnolia.
Right, this is just a magnolia that I made for my parents a couple of years ago. And this is the mule door knocker.
Oh
that I made
my.
for the Arts Council.
That is so beautiful,
They
Russell.
wanted something that would go along with the 20 mule team, and the mules that they're decorating and putting
Oh,
all over jasper. So
it's incredible.
We did a door knocker with a mule head on it.
Well, it's been so popular, the girls have done such a beautiful job that it ended up a 50 mule.
50 mules, that's right.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Look at the detail on this. Well, this should bring some real money into the Arts Alliance. That's a beautiful piece. Beautiful.
Thank you. And this is a stainless barbecue fork that I did for one of my customers. She ordered them for a Christmas present.
Oh, very unusual. Well, you know, you just think of forging and horseshoeing, and I thought, my. And this just fascinated us, and your mother and another gentleman were telling us that this big thing, I thought surely that's just a paperweight, and they said no, this is actually a horseshoe for a real horse. Can you imagine?
Right, just a draft horseshoe.
A draft horse, and that would be
Belgium, Clydesdale, Shire, Percheron.
And their foot is actually that big. That's incredible. Well, this has been an interesting thing for us to see.
I'm going to make a nail for Mr. Charlie Watts. I became a Christian several years ago, and I always wanted to kind of incorporate blacksmithing or ironwork in some way to share the message of Christ and what He's done in my life. And so we started making our interpretation of a crucifixion nail, and I'll draw this out, and then Mr. Robert Shepard will help me, and we'll head it and get this to the one.
Oh, that is wonderful, Russell. Russell, I can't believe you made that from that little piece of iron. It's incredible. I know everyone's going to enjoy watching the process.
Well, this is pretty close to how the crucifixion nails would have been made, and we stamped it with scripture out of Isaiah chapter 48. It says, "Behold, I have graven thee upon the palms of my hands," and we'd like to give that to Mr. Charlie and Mrs. Yvonne Watts.
Oh, Russell, they'll treasure that. That is such a wonderful, it's a work of art, and it's so touching. They'll really, really treasure it. I know they will. Thank you so much.